What is going on, guys? It is your boy CryptoMykel here, coming today with a news-ish update, guys. So, as the title of the video goes, my BCU may actually have a mining use again. It's had mining use the entire time, but new things have developed where I don't have to use private bit streams or things like that. We'll talk further about that. We'll also go over the fact that my BCU is not quite working, or the BCU works but the motherboard and etc. doesn't work. And sorry, I've been away. The whole family's been sick. The family caught RSV, according even the little baby. So we've been trying to recover and take care of ourselves and get back to the way things were. So prayers and thoughts for the family, especially for the little baby that we got, because it's been a struggle. So my voice is a little low. I don't have much of a voice, but let's get a word from our sponsor in, shall we? As you may have seen in that little clip, CryptoMykel is releasing a immersion cooling home system. I'm rather interested in what this may launch. It should be coming out here by the end of this month, I think, and I'm actually really excited to see what it could do for people that want to ASIC mine at home, not worry about the heat and or the noise, and still be able to get some hashes in and make some busy bit, right? So, guys, without further ado, today we are talking about good old Caspa. I know, it's like beating a dead horse, but I find this actually pretty interesting for the fact of my BCU. We can mine Caspa for a minute, but you have to have private bit streams and everything. But now, thanks to good old TeamRedMiner, there was an update 13 days ago that allows us to actually utilize a wide list of FPGAs now on Caspa through TeamRedMiner. Even Ethash supported. Some of the devices are. So, you know, the Xilinx C1100s, I wish I ended up getting mine. We had our order canceled on us, and I wish I just placed it again. I should have done it, but I didn't. The Forest Kitten 33, Panda has one of those. The Toll / Osprey and Xilinx, the U50C and the ECU50, these are both the same boards. The TH53 and 55 kind of mimic a Forest Kitten, but not quite. The Osprey E300 is actually multiple different kinds of FPGAs now. This is being reworded on the newest update. They're not going to call it the E300 anymore because the E300 is basically like the generalization of the component. CVP13 as well as the BCU1525 or the BTU9P or the ECU200. All of these are the same exact card, and we now can mine Caspa for a 10% dev fee. Now that is taken straight out of the hash rate, so you won't like be switching back and forth. It just comes right out of the hash, and as you can see, everything that is listed right here. So our BCU cannot mine Ethash, but it can mine Caspa. CVPs can't mine Ethash, but they can mine Caspa. The E300, T55, T53s, the U50s, FK33s, and the C1100s can all mine Ethash. Alright, but with this update, you actually just have to download and run this in Linux if you have a BCU, and it will download. It has the bitstream already in it for it, as well as some of the USB drivers that you may need in order to run this. Alright, so the E300 was renamed to the E335C because there are now additional devices on E300 boards and they are now allowing people to add in not just BCU chips, but Forest Kitten chips, as well as a few extra things. So I do find this pretty interesting. I am currently trying to get this working myself, but as we can see kind of right here, this is my FPGA rig, and I'm having an issue. I redid the entire rig, and I installed a new D5 pump because the old pump was no good, and it actually gave out. So I installed a new pump, replumbed some stuff to make it a little bit easier and nicer. But ever since I have done this, I cannot get my rig to stay on. I couldn't figure out why. I finally was able to get into the BIOS and kind of watch what happens, and my CPU just starts heating up and then thermal throttles and shuts down. You can see the flow is moving and everything, but I don't know that my D5 pump it's at its max setting, and it's not pushing enough. And I don't think it is anyway, because this tube right here that goes from my CPU out into the BCU, this tube right here gets extremely hot. The fluid coming in out of this tube is really hot, and it never makes it, at least up here, I never see it get hot. But this fluid that sits right inside here, it gets really warm. And I am imagining that is because the flow, there's something impeding the flow, or something is wrong. So I have not been able to get this thing up and running. I am about at this point now that I'm just gonna rip apart the entire water cooling system and just scrap it completely. Find an AM3 Plus cooler to fit the FX CPU, make sure that it still works and actually functions, and put the Sanyo Screamer back on the BCU. I really do not like the Sanyo Screamer. It is extremely loud, but it is what it is, right? You got to do what you got to do. So at this point, we will see kind of like what's going to happen with it and get it back up and going. Now, I kind of want to talk about that it will make about 5 terahashes on a single BCU for up to about 350 to 400 watts. That's usually where the BCU maxes out if you push it all the way up. You can undervolt your BCUs. 350 is just kind of where you would probably sit if you don't touch anything. Just as it sits, 4,000 or 5,000 mega hashes or 5 terahashes, you would net about 290 Caspa a day. All right, now that is not including your pool. That's after the pool fees, so you'll lose 15 to a pool fee, plus you're losing 10% of your hash rate in the dev fee for TeamRedMiner, so about 500 hashes or so that you're actually losing. All right, so if you have 10 cents per kilowatt hour, this is kind of your breakdown right here. How much Caspa you would make in a month? About 8,000 Caspa. All right, which is pretty profitable in my personal opinion for a BCU. Now for a CVP13, you're pushing about 9,000 hashes or 9 terahashes, and you would net in about 523 Caspa per day. Of course, granted markets and hash rates and difficulty. Now, I do want to kind of talk a little bit further into that though, because of the fact that, Caspa is wrote on a ghost DAG type of situation. Now, they are looking at forking the algorithm into accepting DAG night, which really is not too much different. It is actually relatively the same hash function as the previous, but it does change What was it right here? Dagnite, where instead of 10-second confirmation times guaranteed by number 3, which number 3 is underneath normal circumstances, any transaction will be confirmed after 10 seconds. Double spinning a transaction after that time requires a very high hash rate. So it mainly guarantees that number 3 is going to work and that the confirmation time adapts automatically by the internet speed, which would improve the network congestions of the miners and any optimizations in the block validation algorithm. So what this is meaning is that it will change block times maybe a little bit. So there might have to be a rework of bit streams for TeamRedMiner, of course, probably private bit streams as well. It will, because of that. Not much of a difference though, other than block timings and ensuring this happens, right? So upon me saying this is, yes, there will be, when they implement this in, there will probably be some time where FPGAs won't be on the network, but I wouldn't put it past that people have already, like, you know what's happening, you know what changes are coming, so they can like preemptively write that and fix that before it happens. Caspa's okay with FPGAs on the network. They've stated this, so they're not trying to kick them off, but they are trying to optimize their code and their actual network. So it's possible that for a time period FPGAs will drop off the network, but I don't foresee it being very long. If it's not already fixed, you may look at you're looking at maybe a week to 2 weeks timeline, maybe even a month. If it's already taken care of, you're looking a matter of days, right? Waiting for basically people to just start implementing it all in. Now, I would assume that they are probably going to do that update at the same time they will do Caspa on Rust, because it will have to be that will rewrite the code completely, and that would actually kick FPGAs off because the code would change. But I find it very interesting because there is, of course, a coin that I've talked about a few times before. It's not mineable, but it is built on Rust, and that's Solana. They have pretty high transactions per second, very high. They have a lot of issues, but it's validator issues, it's not because of Rust. Rust is kind of slow and clanky at times, but it works and works well. I'm pretty interested to see how this goes, because smart contracts can be implemented and some things could be maybe even ported over pretty easily from a code-based perspective from Solana over to Caspa, which would be kind of cool and interesting to see if that kind of stuff can happen. I'm interested, right? So I would assume they would add the Ghost DAG and the Rust situation at the same time. We do not know a timeline on this currently. So if you want any links for some of this stuff, it will be down in the description below. Please, guys, hit the like button, subscribe button, that bell notification, so you do know every time that we go live here on the channel. We would greatly appreciate that. And of course, share this video. We would greatly appreciate that as well. And make sure you keep my family's and your thoughts and prayers from recovering from RSV, because it's been a battle and we're still trying to recover currently. Without further ado, guys, I'm gonna head out of here. I'm getting winded, so much love, peace out. I'll catch you on the flip side, guys. Hopefully there will be a video coming soon of my BCU actually hashing on Caspa from TeamRedMiner. I just got to do a bunch of reworking and tearing apart the loop to see maybe if we can get it to actually function or just rip it out completely. We'll see, but without further ado, we'll catch you on the flip side, guys. Stay savage. Peace.